Yo, what is up YouTube? And today we're going to be talking about a new unit that is coming to Epic 7. Now, we're not actually talking about the new 5-star Ice Thief Elvira, the vampire that is in the story currently, or even the new Moonlight 5-star unit in Dragon King Shirun. I don't know why she's Dragon King still. Someone told me she's like possessed or like someone is controlling her. That's a king, like a Dragon King, but Shirun is a girl, I'm pretty sure, so it's kind of weird. But I'm not talking about this unit or Elvira, right? I'm actually talking about the new 3-star unit. So you can see the new 3-star unit is Leah. She is holding looks like a pistol, and she looks pretty cool. She's a 3-star unit. She's a Earth Thief, and we actually have a leak of her skills. The servers are currently down, but I do believe she will be available after they're up, or it might be next week. I'm not too sure. We're actually going to look at her skills, and I'll tell you guys my first thoughts on her. So these are going to be her skills here. At the top, we can see, yes, her name is confirmed. I mean, they already announced it. It's Leah. She's a 3-star unit, Earth element, also of the Ranger type, and she is going to be of the Virgo Zodiac. Now, Virgo Rangers, we only have 2 other ones. I believe it's Peacemaker, Furious, and Watcher Shuri, who are 4-star units, so it means that Leah's stats will be a little bit different than theirs, so she'll be kind of unique, right? So, looking at her skills very quickly, so there's actually a lot of text to her skills. Let's actually talk about her S1. So her S1 is the skill that actually gets awakened, and her skill 1 is going to be, let's just look at the awakened part. It's an attack, a single target attack that will decrease combat radius by 15%. When the caster is granted exploiting weak points, you will use explosive fire instead of swift fire. So I believe swift fire is the name of the skill here, the S1. And if you're actually using your S1 with your like a dual attack or like any other just a regular attack and she doesn't have the exploiting weak points, what will happen is it's just a single target attack with a CR pushback. However, if you have exploiting weak points, your S1 will actually be a decreased buff duration by 1 turn and silence for 1 turn on your S1, and then you'll push back CR by 30%, and this damage will actually scale proportional to the caster's speed, and it appears that this will not actually trigger a dual attack, and that's probably because of, I'm not actually too sure why. So I think that this can work on dual attacks, so if you bring her with like a Conquer Lilius, this will still trigger explosive fire, but the explosive fire attack will not actually bring another unit, if I'm understanding that correctly. You can soul burn this to, of course, ignore effect resist. We have another unit with ignore effect resist because why the hell not? It's so broken. So yeah, I think the skill is pretty cool. It's kind of like Angel of Light, Angelica's S1, but better, right? Because not only is it just a silence and a CR pushback, but you also can decrease buff durations, which is pretty cool. And you can now actually ignore effect resist to guarantee this, so it looks pretty cool. I think it's gonna make her more of a support unit, and you're gonna want to build her like tankier on probably like Guiding Light and just be super annoying, kind of like a Noggle or Lua type of unit. But of course, because she's a 3-star unit, she'll suffer from not having very good stats, so that might be enough to actually hold her back, as we saw with a lot of other units in the past that were released as 3 stars that looked like they had very high potential, but the stats just kind of held them back. But looking at her other skills here, so it's kind of interesting. Power of Harmony is her S2. It's a passive, and it's at the start of the battle. When all allies are of different elements, you will acquire 10 souls and have a 65% chance to increase allies attack for 2 turns. And I do believe if you max this out with skill enhances, it'll probably go to 100%. So it's kind of a unique take on cleaving. You want to bring allies that have all different elements. It's kind of like what Fumir was kind of going for with like different elements and stuff like that, although Fumir is a lot more easier to use because you actually can bypass it through different methods. But this one just looks like you need allies of different elements, so not really too sure what that means. I'm not too sure whether that means like allies differing from Earth, like whether it be like Leia and 3 fire units, or Leia and 2 fire, 1 ice, or Leia and 2 fire, 1 moonlight. I'm not too sure what this means, or if the allies have to be all different elements from each other. It's very vaguely worded, so we'll see when she actually comes out. But I do believe from looking at it, it's probably all allies have to be of separate elements from each other. And what you actually do is you get 10 souls, which is very cool. And attack buff for 2 turns is very nice as well. This will make it so that you don't need to bring any attack buffers really. You can just bring super hard hitting cleave units, such as like Watcher Shuri and Strays with Leia, right? If you go against a slow team with Watcher Shuri and Strays, you can just one-shot 2 units and just 3v1 unit teams in Guild Wars, which is pretty insane. So I think she might have a niche in Guild Wars offense looking at it because attack buff is so strong and you get free souls, and her S1 looks like it can cripple enemies very easily and just be very annoying because silence is so powerful, right? Let's say you're fighting against Arrowell and two other units on defense. What you can actually do is just kill every other unit than Arrowell besides Arrowell, and then what Leah can do is S1 Arrowell with Soulburn and actually prevent her from stunning, putting up barrier, and so forth. Also, you're going to see her S3 is insane. So her S3 is going to be increased critical hit damage of all allies for 2 turns, and granting that exploiting weak points, you need to activate your S1, and you also get an extra turn. So Leah, what she actually does is she gives your entire team attack buff, she gives your entire team critical hit damage buff, she gives you guys souls, and she has an S1 that she can use to pretty much lock out a support unit from taking their turn if you just soul burn, right? Because she grants your team 10 souls from her passive. So even if you bring like a Toghel's holder, you have 10 souls left to work with. So pretty crazy unit, I'd say, for Guild Wars offense. I think she's going to be very good for Cleave. I'm not too sure if she'll be good for World Arena and stuff like that because we're going to have to see her speed tier. If she's very fast, like 120 plus speed, I think she'll be very good. The only thing is she doesn't have any combat readiness manipulation for her own team, or like AoE combat readiness manipulation for the enemy team. So we don't know how actually she'll be in real Cleave scenarios, but for Guild Wars offense, I think she'll be amazing. If you pull her, you should be able to mow through those tanky slow teams pretty easily, and yeah, she'll be a very strong unit. Like, I think having attack buff and critical hit damage buff and giving you souls and locking down, slow support units might be pretty strong. Now, I'm not saying she'll be broken, but I definitely think from her skill kit, she'll be at least usable. And from what I'm seeing, I think a lot of people will actually build her for Guild Wars offense, especially against slower team comps, which we're seeing a lot of in Guild Wars lately, especially like with the Abyssal Lufine and stuff like that, crowding the meta in like Ikarina. You just bring her now, you give critical hit damage buff and attack buff to Strays and Watcher Shuri, who are of different elements from Leia and from each other. You could have one of those one-shot the Ikarina, another one of them one-shot like the other unit next to them, whether it be like Urban Shadow Shu, who's commonly paired with Ikarina, and then you're left in a 3-on-1, which is very powerful. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about this unit. I think this unit is pretty nice. Definitely going to build her once I pull for her, and I'm just curious what you guys actually think.